Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our commodity daily technical analysis update. We'll take a look at the dollar, yields, precious metals, and ETFs and commodities that I follow. And if you guys need any help with anything, definitely check out finding-value.com. We have a platinum question and answer session at 5 p.m. Sunday. You can answer your questions there. And we're going to dive in here. I'm going to give you my financial opinions of what I'm seeing in the markets in the short term. Keep in mind, short-term market fluctuations are the least reliable. Generally, when you chart a big picture view, you're charting the fundamentals. In the short term, you're charting the emotional kind of herd mentality of emotions. And that short term, we'll say, sentiment can change on a dime. So I usually take bigger picture views. Try to invest at the bottom of long-term trends when that trend is changing into an uptrend, and then holding on to it for a good 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And usually I'm looking for inflection points in the earnings. So let's dive in here, give you my opinions. This is the DXY, the US dollar index. So it's a relative strength indicator, so to speak. It is heading higher. It's looking actually quite strong right now. So kind of diving in here and looking at this. There we go. We have a very strong kind of move higher here with all these green candlesticks and not much selling pressure. This does look like it wants to continue higher to the upside. What that means is that the dollar and the monetary tightness around the dollar is tighter than other currencies, or people are preferring the dollar over other currencies because they think it is stronger. But it's usually generally tied to the monetary tightness versus other monetary tightness of other currencies. But that does look good to continue higher. The 10-year yield, it's slightly lower today, but that isn't a reversal candlestick or anything like that. So I do think that that trend's intact for a move higher for yields. Higher yields, higher dollar, they pretty much go hand in hand. Big long-term, big picture view for yields. This looks really good for yields to go on up. Squeezing things in the market, especially those things that do not like higher yields. The 30-year yield was slightly lower today, but that still is not a reversal candlestick or anything. It's just a down day, and we could see further upside if the buyers want to push it higher. That's what it looks like for yields. Bond prices were slightly higher today, but we're still in a downtrend. There's no reversal. Well, actually, this is a reversal candlestick here a couple of days ago. So we'll see if it reverses or not. But the downtrend is lower. And we'll see if this reverses higher and if we see yields turn around. But right now, the trend is stronger dollar, stronger yields, and lower bond prices is the trend. The TYX-TNX ratio, so that's looking at how the curve is inverting or not inverting. The curve today is inverting, which means the 30-year is falling at a faster pace than the 10-year. So the curve is still inverting. We're at, I would say, a general location. Gold did very well from here on forward. Gold did very well here on forward. And if we see this turn upward, I think gold and silver are going to do very well. I will say that given where the two yields are in relationship to each other, the 10-year versus the 30-year, when it's low down here, generally that's a good time to be looking at precious metals to see when they're going to bottom and turn. So, and again, guys, I'm not stating that this cannot, we could go lower here for a little while, or we could grind sideways for a while with the curve inverted. So that is a possibility, but it's something to look at. We are low. We're not at this upper end where we could be inverting, going from basically from a crash to an inversion. We are basically looking at the opposite of that. Think of it as 2018, 2019, where things could kind of slow down, so to speak, but we're not there yet. CRB Index, we are grinding sideways, slightly lower today. We did have lower oil today. And, we've been grinding sideways here for a while. Here's kind of that falling wedge pattern. This guy kind of broke out here. Maybe we've got a bigger pattern here. I don't think so. I think it's more like this, because you've got the 3 humps there. And then we're just kind of humping it out. It's like a permanent hump day. If you notice look real close, you've got like these 3 humps, and so does oil. It's got the same thing. So we've been moving sideways with the CRB index. Are we going to fall out and break lower here? I mean, that's really the question. This is undoubtedly wave 1. We have a correction after wave 1. And now it's, where is wave 2 going to end? And that's the pullback. Is the pullback here going to end right where it's at? Or is this going to dive down a little bit and end somewhere down here, where we get basically a fib retracement of where that circle is about 60, that's 50%. It could even fall down to 61.8 if it wants to. Let's say we've got a larger pullback on our hands than what maybe I've even been looking for. Maybe the housing market does let go. We do have lower housing starts down at 1.3 million. That's not a horrible number, though. But maybe they let go. We'll have to watch and see. But right now, we've been moving sideways in the CRB index. The CRB to S&P 500, that does look like it is trying to strengthen. But again, on the short term, guys, we got to see this downtrend channel break. We've got gold slightly lower today. Again, we've got the inverting of the yield curve. Gold does not like that. And we have a strengthening dollar. This trend still looks like it's intact for maybe lower gold prices. We do have a hammer candlestick here, so we'll see what the next trading day or two does. If we run out of the gates and fire on lower tomorrow, I do think we could potentially head lower. But I don't see any reversal candlesticks here lately, outside of the one hammer candlestick here. Silver, again, it looks like we could potentially go lower here. Another strong selling pressure day and a bearish engulfing. So we could head lower there. And again, guys, the short term is always the least accurate. And I'm just kind of seeing if there's like some sort of inverted head and shoulders that we've got going on. Not really. Platinum slightly higher today. We do have a wick at the top. So generally speaking, the momentum was lost throughout the day, and it did sell back down. Momentum's heading to the downside, but it looks like we might have to sit and go sideways for a little while before claiming that we're putting some sort of bottom in. When I see these types of patterns that get all messy like this, I kind of just don't do anything. I just wait. That's really what I do. Wait to see what happens. XEU to gold ratio, it's down 1.42%. We do have a little wick at the bottom. It maybe could be a reversal candle. I wouldn't use it for anything. I'd have to wait and see what the heck happens. Let this thing kind of grind out first. But gold and silver mining companies underperformed gold today. GDX lower today. Looking at support, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. We're not really by support. We're not really by resistance. We're kind of in the middle of it. So I don't really have too much to say on some of these. More or less, I just wait. Momentum is to the downside for sure. So I'm just waiting to see where this reversal in support's going to happen. SILJ's got the same thing. The momentum's going downward. It's just, where is the support and where are we going to find it? And obviously we can look at previous trading and where that's happened, but it's all over the place. So it could find support anywhere. And that goes for GDX as well. Crude oil, strong selling pressure today, down 3.21%. I did see we see a crude build in inventories. So we are building on inventories in the short term here, and crude is responding to the downside. We do have this support line that I drew across these guys here that will act as support at about $71, $70-ish. Natural gas bouncing today. Are we getting close to a bottom? I don't know. Let's just let this thing grind itself out. A lot of momentum behind this move. And Let's let it grind out for a little while before getting too excited and calling a bottom. XOP, yeah, you know me. There's kind of the longer term view. There it is, the trend line underneath it. We could break this trend line, come back down towards this level down here at about $108 or so. That's possible. We still haven't broken the uptrend line though. We're kind of right on it. We have come down and slowed down. You can see the opening and closing prices on each candlestick are contracting, which generally means we're trying to turn. So we'll see if that turns. Look for tomorrow. We should see kind of a bullish engulfing or some sort of hammer on the bottom or something. Candlestick. OIH is also selling off a little bit. We're back to the support level, and we'll see if that support holds. So we're getting some more selling pressure. Again, the lows are coming up. Everything looks good so far. And we'll see if we can maintain this uptrend. I'm just trying to see what we can draw in here. Maybe it's kind of a channel or something like that going up. Either way, we'll have to make a lower low for me to really say that this trend line is broken or not. Looking at the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, that is also selling off today, quite strong as well. We do have higher lows coming up, so maybe we pull back $1 or $2 or something like that and still consolidate for another period of time. URNM also down 1.4%. We're still above support. Everything still looks good. We're just still squeezing up in this pattern. TAN sideways, slightly below support. So we're getting support right where we're at. We'll see if that reverses. We are squeezing in a larger, bigger picture pattern here. That's why we've got this pattern coming up. We're squeezing to the tip. This could blow down a little bit, just like it did on the left-hand side here. So this pullback, maybe we could get a pullback like it and then basically move up like we did previously. So that is a possibility. COPX down a little bit today, down 2.34%. This does look like we could see further downside, kind of a pattern, flag pattern or something. Maybe we see a little bit more downside in the short term. For COPX, lithium, we're right on support. There's that support line that I drew in a little while ago. We're using it as support. REMX, again, down a little bit today, and we're right on support. The S&P 500, slightly lower. Momentum's just going sideways. I mean, it's a very small candlestick. We are still above the trend line, that blue trend line I've got going on there. Well, it's way out. I zoomed way too far out. I forget that this has got a lot of history to it. But there's that blue line going across, and we still haven't broken below that, so everything still looks fine. Same with the NASDAQ. We're just moving sideways today. Could that be a inverted bloody nose where we had a little bit lower? Yeah, very well could be. EEM, emerging markets, right on support. That's that support line going across here. We've got XHB slightly higher today. Is that an inverted bloody nose? It could be, but we're coming up to support here soon. MU is also right on support. And big picture view, we've got the breakout to the upside, and we're still in this chopping action, slightly lower to sideways chopping action out of this for the agribusiness ETF. We've got copper with the bloody nose going upward. So that's a continuation pattern to the upside. So it's just a small profit-taking day. Momentum still upward. Lumber slightly lower today. We're coming back to support at about 366. Iron ore, we're at 126, which is right here or so. I feel like this thing is moving on us. So there's iron ore, kind of a weird pattern. This for some reason, this isn't working for me. I'm just going to skip it. Nickel slightly higher today, up 1.23%. You can see the pattern we squeezed up, came on back, and now we're consolidating sideways. Yep. Aluminum up a little bit, 2.89%, still looking good. Above the support level. I do think this will eventually work its way on higher and grind on upward. Baltic Dry Index up 7.6%. That's looking good. Could this be a false breakdown? We are at a very cheap level for the Baltic Dry Index. We are down in no man's land for how cheap this thing is. Newcastle coal up a little bit, 1.4%. Again, we've got lots of momentum to the downside. We'll have to wait and see if this thing scribes something out. And then Ethereum. Ethereum is slightly lower along with Bitcoin on the dailies there. And the momentum is heading a little bit lower today. Again, it doesn't look bad. I still think that this looks fine for moving higher. Again, guys, I'm not a short-term trader. I do go over this because a lot of people like going over this on a day-to-day basis. Looking at things, there's a lot of things that are selling off. They are looking a little bit weak. And we haven't broken out of patterns yet, but we could in the short term. Maybe the market is ready to pull back. We'll have to see what the numbers tell us, what the data shows. I'm not going to do anything different with my investments. I'm just going to wait. We are still scribing out. We have a big wave 1 that we completed. We are in wave 2 pulling on back. We've pulled back quite a bit, and we're trying to find the bottom of wave 2. Where is that going to be? It could be at any time, or maybe we've got a little bit further downside to go. No one knows the exact path that this thing's going to scribe, but we can say wave 1's complete. We're in wave 2. We've already pulled back on a lot of commodities, quite a bit. We've pulled back on ratios as well. That's that disinflationary period between the first wave and the second wave that has to potentially come. And we're just waiting. So that's what we've got for today. If you guys like the content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And check out the website if you guys are interested. Definitely sign up the Platinum membership. Use the word discount in the coupon code if you want to become a Platinum member to get a discount. All right, guys. We'll catch you later. This is Finding Value.